In today's page in our story, we're going to be reading about Amber Conehorst, who survived a 100-foot fall. She was hundreds of miles from her nearest friend when she fell down a cliff and broke her back. Welcome to A Page in Our Story, the captivating YouTube channel that delves into the fascinating world of true stories. Join us on this incredible journey as we explore and uncover tales that are sure to intrigue, inspire, and leave you in awe. From heartwarming accounts of courage and resilience to spine-tingling mysteries and historical accounts, we bring you a diverse collection of captivating narratives that will transport you to different times and places. Get ready to immerse yourself in the magic of storytelling as we turn the pages of history and share extraordinary moments which have shaped our world. So, grab a seat, sit back, and let's embark on this captivating adventure together, one page at a time. Welcome to A Page in Our Story. My feet touched the summit of the sandstone bluff, and I paused, alone, proud, and stunned by the distant view of Zion Park fanning out before me. It was just as beautiful as I'd imagined. When I went to descend along the edge of an 800-foot cliff, I realized I couldn't downclimb the way I had come up. Take a breath, I told myself. If I could climb this, I can find a safe way down. I hopped between boulders and stemmed down a slot. My eyes set on the sun melting on the desert landscape, and then everything went black. When I woke up an hour later, I felt shattered. A pool of sticky blood surrounded my head like a halo. I lay trapped in the bottom of a smoothed wall pit with an empty water bottle. It was getting dark. Only my Airbnb host knew where I had gone. My plan was to stay in the small town of Cane Beds on Arizona's northern border for a week in May, volunteering at Best Friend's Animal Sanctuary in Kanab, Utah. I'm from Minnesota originally, and I'd hoped to spend all my free time exploring the canyons, cliffs, and the desert terrain I'd never seen before. I was barely in town an hour before I set out. I could hear my mother's advice to never hike alone, but I just couldn't wait. I got a recommendation for a nearby hike, an easy one since I'm not used to high altitude or slick rock, and I went off. After gaining about 600 feet over a little less than a mile, I had my fill. I sat, took a swig of water, snapped some photos, and began my descent. Just then, I caught sight of a bulbous sandstone escarpment that I couldn't resist. The rock was grippy and stair-like in places. I climbed by adrenaline and happy mountain vibes, energized by how well I was moving. I kept going until I reached the top that was an amazing view. That's when my euphoria turned into panic. Oh my God, I don't know how to get down. I could spot my end destination, a tree at the bottom of the 800-foot cliff, but the way was invisible from my perspective. I told myself to keep calm while attempting to descend by various routes, but every one dead-ended above a sheer cliff face. How could I have been so careless? I knew panicking wouldn't get me nowhere, but I couldn't stop. Stuck somewhere below the top, I took my phone out and dialed 911 with shaking fingers. No service. The silence, which earlier I had cherished, is now horrible. I had to go down. Half down climbing and half jumping down 10-foot cliffs, I landed on slanted, narrow ledges. It was around 8 p.m., almost sunset, when I fell. I regained consciousness after 10 p.m. with a pulsing pain in my head. I was terrified. I knew I had fallen far, but wasn't sure where I was. I called 911 again because I knew by the pain that my back was severely injured, if not broken. My ear was torn badly, and I figured I had a concussion. There was still no service. I dug through my bag to assess my supplies. 2 carabiners, 1 paracord survival bracelet, some trail mix, a whistle, and a mini first aid kit and wipes. I put the whistle around my neck and blew, though I knew no one would hear me. It was 9:15 p.m. I was miles from a town where I had no friends. I was alone on the floor of a narrow canyon. I used the wipes to clean off as much blood as I could. Brushing away sandstone chips to make a smoother rock bed, I carefully lowered my head until my backpack and tried to rest in my 10 by 10 foot alcove, protected from the wind, but still shivering in 50-degree weather. Sleep was out of the question. Soon, hallucinations began. I'd see someone open a magic door to rescue me, and I'd crawl for a couple of feet before sinking back into my reality. I was trapped. When the morning light illuminated my rock room, I decided to get moving. I slithered through a small opening, but when I peered over the next edge, my heart sank. There was a 30-foot drop. There was no way down. I retreated, taking quadruple the time to slam my swollen body through the slop. I rested. I ate trail mix, screamed, blew my whistle, and let myself think the unthinkable. What if they can't find me? What if this is it? It sounds cliche, but I tried telling myself, if this is my time to go, at least I died doing something I loved. Small comfort. A heavy sorrow settled on me every time I thought of my family. I took a photo of my puffy, bruised face and traced a sloppy note on the image with my finger. I'm sorry. I'm trying to blow my whistle. I've fallen. That was my goodbye. I was out of water, and I knew that with the extreme Arizona heat in the day and bitter cold at night, I wouldn't last long. Still, I wasn't going to wait around for death. Strapping on my backpack, I climbed. I somehow managed to ascend 50 feet up a 6-foot natural rock stairs. I was trying with all of my ability, but safety was another 50 feet impossible feet above me. I settled into a 2 feet wide slanted ledge and stopped to rest. The pain in my back was immense. The despair I felt was getting stronger. My whistle blows became weaker and my voice harsh and soft. There was nothing left to do but sit and pray. Around 5 hours later, a growing buzz in the air broke the dreadful silence. There was no hallucination. Rescue was coming. I couldn't look up too far because moving my back was impossible, but I got on my knees and whistled. The helicopter hovered close to me and the motor drowned out my calls for help. They flew over me once, twice, 4 times, and still could not see me, although I was waving my arms frantically. Then, just as it had started to get dark again, the helicopter passed and I locked eyes with one of the men inside. He pointed right at me. It was difficult for the SAR team to get me. For hours they tried different rescue techniques, and at one point I yelled, "Hello?" to make sure they're still coming. 6 hours later, in the middle of the night, one crew member rappelled in, gave me Gatorade, and helped me into a harness. We attempted to ascend, but the 4 guys above couldn't rope haul us up. I would have to help with my rescue. With the aid of the rope dragging me upward, I semi-climbed into the top of the bluff. Finally, with a rescuer under each arm, I walked to a place the helicopter could land and eventually made it to Dixie Regional Medical Center in St. George, Utah. The rescuers told me how my Airbnb host had contacted the Mojave County Sheriff's Office and how community members joined in the search. 28 hours after I began and 9.5 hours from the start of the search, everybody was celebrating my return. I'm still recovering from compression fractures in my sacrum and vertebrae, a broken nose, and a damaged ear, but it could have been so much worse. I'll return next year to explore the places I didn't get to see, but I'll make sure I know where I'm going. Pack smarter. Keep your center of gravity close by putting heavier items just above the small of your back. Choose routes wisely. Plan your path according to your skill level and always have an escape plan. Focus on safety. 3 points of contact are essential to maintaining stability and balance. Keep your center of gravity over your foot, not bend towards the rock. Test your hand and footholds before committing your weight. climb down. Turn back at the first sign of danger. Route problems compound quickly when you're scrambled. Face inward on steep descents and use a trekking pole for front-facing descents on low-angle rock like gullies or slabs. Note: if you feel like you're pushing yourself on the ascent, you'll likely be in over your head on the descent. Thanks for listening. This was a page in our story about Amber Cohnhorst and how she survived a 100-foot fall. She is a brave woman who refused to give up. I hope she's still doing good today. Thanks for listening to a page in our story, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video if you liked it.